Alright, I'm just gonna say this now. Spy X Family is one of the funniest manga I've ever read. This Tatsuya Endo guy, I don't even know where he came from. Legit, I was just sitting down one day, eating my morning cereal and then... Wait, what's that you say? Monkeys don't eat crunchy nut clusters? What in the fuck do you mean? They're delicious. But, okay then, what about Cocoa Pops? They literally have a monkey on the front. He's a marketing tool? And he's probably enslaved to be a mascot for a corporation that doesn't love him. They just use him to sell a line of delicious chocolate-covered Rice Krispies and various treats? Okay, wow, I'd like to speak to Kellogg's manager. Since cereal is now cancelled, I was eating my morning bananas and this manga just popped up out of nowhere, I swear. I had no idea what to expect from it, but I ended up so charmed by its humour, characters and artwork that even though it's only 44 chapters into its run, it still managed to become one of my favourite manga series of all time. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Before I get into that, hi, my name is Salad. Why my name's Salad? I don't know. Probably because I'm varied and fun. Don't introduce me to your girlfriend because I swear to God I'll steal her. Alright, so Shonen Jump Plus launched in 2014 as an online addition to the flagship Shonen Jump weekly print magazine. Known for hits like Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. Oh my god, it's so good, but not today. Calm down, Salad. Woosa. And since then, they've been going ham. So many manga that may not have had a chance in the print magazine have been published in the online publication because of the print magazine's tight weekly schedule, core demographic, and content limitations. But now, the world is their oyster. More than it was anyway, because nobody's really been fucking with Shonen Jump since they started.
If Goku can't beat everybody, then who the fuck can beat him? You can't! How far do you really want to take this though, bro? Like, what do you really want to do? Name one single that can beat him.
Or One Piece being the best-selling manga of all time with the highest chapters sold by an individual author, but I'm not going to get into that right now because I won't stop, because fuck me, the world building and the character writing in that thing is incredible, and Luffy is such a good protagonist and the crew just keeps on growing and getting more and more fun, and hell, Mr. Two Blonde Clay is my spirit animal. Point is, Shonen Jump are the GOAT in the manga world, and they have been for a long time. And this new approach to delivering manga has allowed them to flex even more than they're used to doing. Because rather than their usual formula of a shonen lead who's happy-go-lucky but can unleash a kind of whoop-ass at any moment, they've opted for a manga about a spy, a telepath, and an assassin whom become a family whilst all concealing their secret identities? Okay, so in the fictional city of Berlin, which is obviously based off of Tijuana, Mexico, Lloyd is a spy. He needs to get close to a target who's a paranoid recluse. Okay, it's based off Berlin. And as a monkey who absolutely adores the city of Berlin, I love the attention to detail that Tatsuya Endo has put into recreating the city within the manga. The trains are exactly the same, the stations feel really authentic, and whilst the buildings take some fictional liberties, it's obvious that Endo spent some time to research the architecture of the city and detail it in his manga. Furthermore, now I want some bratwurst. Anyway, back to it. Lloyd needs to get close to a target who's a paranoid recluse, and the easiest way of doing so is through the target's 6-year-old son at his school. So, he creates a fake family with the aim of getting closer to his target. He adopts a child, Anya, who happens to be a telepath. Then, he finds a woman who agrees to be his faux wife named Yor. Turns out, she secretly moonlights as an assassin. Anya, being telepathic, knows that both of them are leading double lives, but neither of them know about each other, or Anya's telepathy. Hijinks ensue. Oh, also, they get a dog, which they name Bond, who is absolutely the goodest of boys. The good manga doggo. Who's a good manga dog? Whilst Lloyd and Yor are f***ing great characters in their own right, the series is a consistent joy to read almost entirely because of Anya. Just look at her face. She's always up to something, and it's always hilarious. Never have I read a character who's made me laugh so consistently through their character alone. She doesn't need a hilarious situation to be the best thing on the page. I mean, look at this. Whenever she gets back home, she has to scream, "Anya is in the house." When she's at an art museum, she's pointing at the statues and laughing at their boobies. When she gets a merit in school, which are named Stellar Stars, she demands that everyone address her as Starlight Anya from that point forward. In fact, she makes me aspire to be a 4-year-old child again because I didn't do it right the first time, and I could already hear you saying, what do you know about being human? And to that I would say, we could walk dogs just like you guys, although I don't know where you get off subjugating animals and only feeding them treats, knowing full well that your dog wants that bacon sandwich every time you make it.
You know that bacon that's like maple? It's got maple flavor.
The maple kind, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I took that out and I thought,
Yeah.
I know who would like that. Me. So I ate it.
Oh, no. You're kidding me.
So now you've turned him into a thief and spray him with the squirt bottle or something to teach him not to. But imagine if you ate the same food every single day, over and over and over again. Of course you'd want to try a slice of pizza or something. And then some of you would go, oh yeah, but we feed him leftovers sometimes. Yeah, when you don't want them. Does your dog not deserve the best? Is he not the goodest of boys? Every couple of days, make your dog a bowl of jollof rice or something, because animals deserve the best too. I'm not crying, you're crying. I feel better now. Moving on though, Anya is almost certainly the star of the show. But another one of this manga's core strengths is all of its side characters. One of my favourites at this point is this guy called Bill Watkins, and he shows up in a chapter where Anya's playing dodgeball, and they're all meant to be 6-year-olds. But Bill Watkins fucking looks like this, and throws like this, and I swear to God it's like doing sit-ups. I laughed so hard the first time I read it. But he's only here for one chapter. And whilst many of the other side characters are around for at least a couple of chapters, if not more, all of them are hilarious and funny in their own unique ways. There's a character called Frankie, not the One Piece one, which by the way is one of the greatest, who's on a consistent and never-ending mission to get a date. There's the Eden Academy dorm master and his undying obsession with elegance. Yor's brother and his utterly hilarious and irrational obsession with his older sister. I could go on until I've listed all of the side characters, but that would ruin the fun. All that I'll say here is, I've only mentioned a handful of my favourites, and all of them are great. The best thing about all the side characters as well is that they're all written in such a way that each of them ends up humanised in a way that only the best of writers can really do. In fact, the manga is definitely a comedy first and foremost, but there are points in which it manages to be really poignant with its lessons and themes. The same manga that can have a child being the biggest doofus of all time for most of the story also has moments where Lloyd's spy handler is lecturing a terrorist about the implications of war and how detrimental they can be. The manga is funny, sure, but it definitely has its hard-hitting moments too. I won't detail them here too intensely, as not to spoil the manga because I'm a fucking nice guy, but know that you're also in for a pretty compelling story along the way. Hats off to Tatsuya Endo as well for the artwork. He really nails it here, which is what helps to sell a lot of the humour, but he also has the ability to drastically ramp up the detail as well when a panel needs more impact. I mean, fucking hell, look at this panel of Yor. I almost shit myself the first time I saw it. But also, she's this woman here who struggles with the cooking and, tries to deal with being the fake wife of a family. Like, it's really great. Like, he draws it all spectacularly. Full Metal Alchemist is another manga that is really, really good at doing this. And if you haven't read that or watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which is the same storyline, shame on you. I hope the ice cream machine is broken at the next McDonald's you visit. Also, the Hunter x Hunter references are yes, I am calling that manga Hunter x Hunter and this one Spy X Family because
どうも皆さん、こんにちは。ハンターハンターを書いている富樫義弘です。
And Tatsuya Endo hasn't said anything here, so you're just going to have to deal with the disparity. Thank you very much. Anyway, the Hunter x Hunter references are great, with the dodgeball scene and also in the most recent chapter, it seems that the plot has taken after the most recent arc of Hunter x Hunter, which is still on hiatus. God damn it, Toshagi. I get how grueling the job of a mangaka can be, but fuck, I want more now. How are you going to set up the series for the craziest shit of all time and then release like 3 chapters in 2017 and then leave us for dead? We need it, man. I'm a shell of my former self without it, and I know how taxing it is to write weekly, and I know how much it's affected your health, and I'm sympathetic truly, but god damn it, you incredible button, help complete me. I'm lost not knowing what happens to Kurapika next. I never knew my mother. I'm not crying, you're crying. Saying all that though, I want to point out something about the new Shonen Jump Plus system that I think is really good for the manga creators. Because they're not tied to the weekly magazine schedule, mangaka can set their own schedule so they have the time to breathe, and relax, and their work doesn't take so much of a toll on their bodies as it has done many of their contemporaries, like King Toshagi. Spy X Family itself is on a bi-weekly schedule, and whilst it's painful to wait for 2 weeks for a chapter when you're used to one, especially when the manga goes on break and you have to wait more than a month instead, which happens much more than I'm happy with, Endo, I'd much rather have that than have people run themselves into the ground solely for my entertainment. Kind of. Serve me, you incredible parts. In fact, make me more manga, please, I need it. Make me more manga, please, I need it. Make me more manga, please, I need it. Anyway, Spy X Family feels really special to me, and I think it's because it feels limitless in its scenarios for humour, especially the further into it you read. One particular story arc involves an underground tennis tournament, and whilst that sounds weird as fuck and hella out of place, it's actually funny as fuck instead, and still remains really well grounded within the world of the manga. You'll just have to read it to see what I mean. But that's the moral of the story here. Read Spy X Family. Yes, I'm pressuring you. Feel it. Feel the pressure. It's for you, you know. That's why I'm doing this. I want you to laugh like I laughed. Don't you like to laugh? Everyone does. I mean, if you don't, you should probably read this manga. Like yesterday. Learn to laugh again. Or don't. I'm not your mum. But if you don't, then just know full well that you're being thoroughly judged on the internet by a purple stuffed monkey who tried to scratch his balls the other day and realised that he didn't have any.